So this is given to you. This is the apparatus setup of titration, but the titration is linked with conductivity of electricity. All right, conductivity of electricity, and the pattern of conduction of electricity is shown in the graph. So the graph shows the results of the conductivity of electricity. So let's just quickly analyze the graph. So you can see that the emitter reading decreases, which means as titration is carried out, that means as you are dropping drop by drop acid into the 20 centimeter cube of sodium hydroxide, the current, okay, the current flow, all right, in the beaker decreases until it reaches a minimum point. After that, it starts increasing again, all right. So how do we interpret that? Okay, how do we interpret this graph? What is happening in this graph? So number one, so you should know this electrical conductivity associated with a liquid. What do we call that? Electrical conductivity associated with a solution. What do we call that? We call it electrolyte. So that means this is electrolyte. So as you are adding sulfuric acid to the sodium hydroxide, the electrical conductivity of the electrolyte is decreasing. That means the electrolyte is becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. All right. Okay. So that's how you analyze. So that means the strength of the electrolyte, strength of the electrolyte decreases. See, these are questions can be asked. So this part of the graph shows the strength of the electrolyte decreases. And that's what that line shows. Okay. Now, why? Why does the strength of the electrolyte decreases as sulfuric acid is added to the sodium hydroxide? So number one, what is happening? Neutralization process is happening. When sodium hydroxide is added to, sulfuric acid is added to sodium hydroxide, neutralization occurs. Now the point is all the sodium hydroxide in the beaker is neutralized? Answer no. Neutralization occurs gradually. Okay, gradually, little by little. Do you understand? That means whatever amount of sulfuric acid you add, which is a small quantity, it goes to neutralize only a small quantity of sodium hydroxide, whereas there is still a balance of large quantity of sodium hydroxide. Let's analyze further. So your H2SO4 reacts with sodium hydroxide, NaOH. You are expected to get Na2SO4 plus H2O. Do you understand? So water is being produced. So water, this is a soluble ion. That means this is by itself electrolyte. This itself is electrolyte. Do you understand? This itself is electrolyte. So ions are produced. This is an ion. This is an ion. So you are still having sodium ions and sulfate ions, but you are having water on top of that. So the strength of the electrolyte decreases because concentration of ions decreases due to formation of water. That means the water dilutes the solution. That is your chemistry. You understand? That's your understanding of why this fellow goes down. So because this is a soluble salt, which means it exists as ions. So these ions are being replaced. All right, which means these ions are being neutralized, but this ion, all right, Na plus and OH minus is replaced by these two. They are also free moving ions. Then why does it go down? The only thing is because water is being produced. So the water dilutes the concentration. So concentration of ion decreases due to formation of water. So if they ask you, that's your answer. That is the reason why this decreases. Concentration of ions, free moving ions, more accurately, concentration of free moving ions. So I want the word free moving, free moving ions. If it's exam, that's how you must answer. Concentration of free moving ion decreases due to the formation of water, which means water dilutes them. Now this goes on and on and on. And then something happens here. Here complete neutralization takes place at this point. Understand it? Here, complete neutralization takes place. Complete neutralization occurs here. I put it here. Separate like this. That's complete neutralization. Complete neutralization of NOH. So that means neutralization began here. Neutralization starts. Neutralization starts here. I want perfect understanding, good chemistry. Neutralization starts here. Neutralization starts here. All right? Neutralization ends here. Neutralization ends here. All right. This is what is happening here. This is, all right, there is an overshot of sulfuric acid. That means neutralization is completed. Now, further addition of sulfuric acid does not go to neutralize the sodium hydroxide, but increases the concentration of hydrogen ions. That means further addition of H2SO4 beyond neutral point, beyond end point or neutral point, beyond neutral point, I put it as neutral point, increases concentration of free moving ions. It increases the concentration of free moving ions due to contribution of H plus and SO4 ions by sulfuric acid. That means the sulfuric acid adds H plus and SO4 ions into the solution, thereby increasing the concentration of free moving ions. So I'm going to put that. That means concentration of free moving ions increases due to excess addition of H2SO4. Therefore, it starts to increase. That's your understanding of the diagram. This whole thing can come out in your essay, and they can ask you to explain, or a structured question can come out and they can ask you all this.